Starting on line 1, we have formal declaration for a variable with identifier name. I'm going to save that to global memory and with value Marco. On line 3, we have formal declaration for function with identifier name say hello. I'm going to save that to global memories as well. Say hello. For this function, memory will be allocated and it will get reference ID. When function is declared, internal property scope is created. And in V8 implementation of ECMAScript, they refer it as scopes. And scopes contains a list or collection of objects that are gonna be function scopes chain, and function scope chain is just representing the scope in which the function was created. And say hello is created in global, so we're gonna have a link to the global memory. This link global will always be on the last position, and no matter which or where function is declared, it will always get the global in its scopes. So I just like to think about it as a default. When scopes is created, immediately it will always get the global. I can just make pointer there, and the purpose of the scopes is to provide chained access to all identifiers inside of execution context that this function has. So all identifiers will look through this chain of scopes. After that, we need to return and save a reference ID 33 to the global memory. And we can execute line 9 by first creating execution context, then pushing this function say hello to the call stack, create a local memory, and now we're gonna create execution context scope chain. I can just write execution context scope chain. Execution context scope chain will be initialized by copying all the members of the scopes of the function that created this execution context. So basically copy all the members here. Fortunately, we only have one global. When that's done, and assuming that there are multiple of them, so it will copy all of them, and after that's done, it will then on position or first position or 0 position, it will inject its own local scope or local memory. And then execution context scope chain will end up like this. On line 4, we have formal declaration for constant with identifier name message, and it's hello there. Line 6, we have console log with identifier message. So we can now start looking up for message. It will consult execution context scope chain. We're gonna go and look in the local, and in local we have hello there. So hello there. And the second identifier name will go through the same procedure, consult execution context scope chain on local there is no name in local, but in a global we have name, and that's Marco. And at this point we finished executing this code. We can so of course the console log will log it to console, and at that moment we just can destroy the execution context, pop the functions from the call stack, and we finished executing. That's scope, and if you didn't know, now you know.